Okay, so let's say you have an itch to be an entrepreneur. You want something different, you don't know what it is, and you're in your 20s. In 20s and 30s, you're just out of college, or maybe you didn't go to college, or whatever you are, but you just got to do something else. It's weighing on your heart, it's weighing in your soul that you have to do something bigger, better, and different, and you want to be an entrepreneur. My advice to you is find out what that is, and you get as much education that you can. I call it be a reporter. You put a reporter hat on. I ask questions for people that I'd like to emulate. First of all, check in with yourself. What are you doing? What are your habits? What are you doing with your free time? Are you constantly on your phone and you're like this looking at people and they're looking at the top of your head? Are you looking up and noticing who you're talking to? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Let's just say you have to do your own business plan without Google. You have to go to either an encyclopedia, or you have to go to somebody in your industry that you want to start in, and you have to ask them all the questions. And then I would say you need to find yourself a mentor that can help you through it. I was very, very lucky. I had my parents both that mentored me. And when I was like in a place where my parents moved to northern Michigan and I was in our area by ourselves and I became a speaker, I had industry mentors that I adored and helped me along the way. Now, let's say you're in your 30s and 40s. Maybe you're in your 50s or 60s. Doesn't matter. You all have to do the same thing. You all have to decide where you are. How are you going to get there? What's it going to take? Now, when you're a little older, you got time against you. When you're younger, you think you got all the time in the world, but you really don't. Start saving your money. I'm just saying right now. But when you're older, you have a lot less time to think about what you're going to risk, right? So, I'm into my third career right now. And you never stop. I mean, I just heard of somebody saying, I have a friend that became a millionaire when he was in his 80s. Well, hallelujah. Thank goodness he maintained his health and his wellness and his brain, and he was able to do what he had to do and create his wealth clear into his 80s. Now he had generational wealth. When you get older, a lot of things come your way that you don't expect. I'll give you an example. I used to be pretty athletic. I broke my ankle. I competed in a figure competition at one point. I always did something athletic. I always worked out. I always was active. And then, things happened, stress. I broke my ankle. I got sick. I did this or this. Now things are a little bit different. And I don't want to grind like I did when I was in my 20s. My 20s, I owned a business. I was starting a new career. I bartended. I was a weight instructor, a trainer at a gym so I could get that membership for free. I worked 24/7. I probably slept 4 hours a week. And I did go out and party with all my friends too, somehow. I don't know how I did all that. But now I get to a point where I start to make a decision with my business and I go, I'm going to ask you, before I invest in this, what is the time commitment and what is the financial commitment? And I don't do it because I don't have the money. I have more money now than I ever have. However, do I want to risk that? And do I have the time and energy to put into it? And how long am I going to have that for? So there's a couple things to consider when you're older, in your older ages, of what you need to adjust and what your expectations need to be. So at the end of the day, if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, you need to feed it. You will never, ever be happy. You will never, ever be fulfilled unless you can feed that entrepreneurial spirit. And I don't care what age you are, you can do it. You just have to adjust some things. That's all. That's all that is. So if you're in your 20s and you want to be an entrepreneur, be a reporter and gather all the information and get yourself a mentor. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, whatever it is, make sure that what you're investing is your time and your money and your energy is going to be in flow and in check with it, even after a few years of doing it. But whatever it is, just do it. Just do it. You have to feed it.